And this is the Top 40 Timeline video show. And from the Air Radio Network, of course, and I'm Big Daddy, along with Leah Lywood, who is the trivia, rock and roll trivia gal. And we have the trivia queen, and we have Lee Lakin, the voice over there in the corner. And we are being watched by Amanda, as a matter of fact, our camera gal today, and she'll be popping in later on. And,
a little bit later on.
So we all do a little bit to help here, and I'm going to grab the meme, and then I'm going to give the funny story to you, funny story of the week. And this is on this week's Top 40 Timeline. And it's a meme of a man waking up in bed, right? And he's staring
Shocked.
he's shocked, he's staring at the ceiling. And the meme says, "You ever take a nap so good that you thought you missed the school bus, but it's Sunday and you're 52?
Yeah. And yes, I have.
I love
yes,
that.
I have.
I haven't. Can't say I have.
Sometimes
some
when you
good
wake up
naps,
from
you know.
dreams, I'll tell you, it's like, whoa!
Yeah.
You know, like American Werewolf in London. Remember that scene where he's in the forest? Wow! Oh! Whoa. I'm going to leave the story to you. It's Lee's story of the week.
All right. A man in York County, Pennsylvania, was arrested Tuesday morning after allegedly leading officers on 2 separate vehicle chases in 2 counties. It all began early Tuesday after these things are really like, wow. Here we go. Dried it out a little bit.
Yeah.
It all began on Tuesday after Pennsylvania State Troopers stopped a BMW with a Florida plate and questioned the driver, Tony Sanders. A local station, WGAL, reported that troopers said they could see items in the car that Sanders was driving that appeared to be from a nearby convenience store where a theft had been reported. However, Saunders reportedly told police he got the items at a junkyard. A little bit different stuff at a junkyard than a variety store, I would think. They also reported there was a dog in the car and a dead deer in the trunk.
It's getting interesting,
Now, this is a
isn't it?
BMW, and
Oh
it's getting
my.
really interesting.
It's getting interesting. It
They
gets
don't,
better.
they don't have that much room, do they?
No.
It gets better. It gets
Saunders
better.
allegedly drove away when the troopers asked him to exit the vehicle and turned off his headlights during the chase to avoid detection. But he reportedly had to leave the BMW when he wasn't able to maneuver the car over some railroad tracks, and he allegedly ran into a heavily wooded area. Later that morning, local enforcement agencies were notified that a school bus had been stolen in Abbottstown, according to Carroll Township Police. Carroll Township Police said officers first spotted the bus at a shopping center parking lot and eventually caught up with it. The driver pulled over briefly, then pulled away and kept driving, police said. The driver then allegedly led officers on a chase that ended up after he abandoned the bus and ran away on foot while stripping off his clothes.
Why do people have to strip off their clothes when they're running away from the cops or stuff like
They
that?
called it the streak.
I guess. It's got to be where the song came from.
And I like this part of the story you're about to read the best.
The police apprehended and identified the driver as Saunders, who had allegedly admitted he had stolen the school bus after crashing the BMW.
Oh.
He also allegedly claimed he intended to use the dead deer carcass to fertilize his garden.
Well, there's my answer when I said they don't have that much room, do they?
My God, I love that story.
That's brutal.
You know, you just can't make shit up like that.
No, God, no. I don't even think the police could make that stuff up.
Now, you've got a picture of your cousin who was in Gordon Lightfoot's band.
Yes, he was one of
And-
the original members of Gordon Lightfoot's band, along with Red Shea.
Of course, singer-songwriter Gordon Lightfoot, the Canadian folk music laureate, who crossed over to major pop fame in the U.S. during the 70s, sadly has died of natural causes. He died last Monday evening at Sunnybrook Hospital in Toronto, and he was 84 years old.
Rest in peace, my friend.
Well, you know, what an amazing man Gordon Lightfoot was. And there's
There
a
we go.
picture of, and who is this, Lee?
Right back there in the back is my second cousin, John Stockfish.
John Stockfish.
Who was with Gordon for many, many years, and on many, many albums with him, and very,
That's something to be very,
very
proud of.
cool. And like I say, he was the one who took me into the studio. I was 4 or 5 years old, and watched them record an album. So it was very cool. that got me into music. That's why I'm in music today, is because of John. So
Well, Gordon Lightfoot was certainly an icon, and I mean,
Still is.
and still is, and will always be. And then there's a song, Edmund Fitzgerald, that you'll be around in 200 years from now. People
God,
will
yeah.
still remember that song. You know.
and there was somebody that was saying that was part of the Edmund Fitzgerald and part of the crew and the team and stuff like that. That was, I believe, a survivor, and he actually said word for word in that song was exactly correct. It was you know how sometimes they'll embellish in a song just to make it that much more powerful or whatever, but no, everything in that he sang and wrote in that song was actually dead on correct.
I heard rumors that song was done in one take.
One take.
By the musician.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
it was done in
really?
one shot.
Such
Beautiful.
a big, beautiful sound.
Yeah.
That's Canadian sound.
Yeah.
When that song
And
comes
if,
on,
and if
you
you
know.
saw the studio, it wasn't much different than the size of this room,
Yeah.
and kind of even the layout, and it was just kind of amps here and guitars over. Like, it was really bizarre. It was, but for the sound that they got out of their recordings was
Beautiful.
amazing, absolutely.
And he had the voice of Canada, really,
Oh,
when you
yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful
Always
voice.
know him.
Oh,
Always
You can tell.
you hear that voice, you know exactly who it is.
You know, and your
So-
first, my first thought was Aurelia, Ontario.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah.
Local
and,
boy.
You know, you look at, again, we talked about Taylor Hawkins a few weeks ago. Gordon was one of those people. The musicians that have come out of even the woodwork, for God's sakes, that are, condolences, and just the list of musicians worldwide, not just in Canada, but worldwide.
Well, you and I know some fairly big musicians, and I see on their Facebook, they're so proud. They put pictures of them
Meeting
up there
him
with
or-
Gordon Lightfoot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, there's been a lot of that lately.
It's
eh?
like, yeah. And that's,
I've seen
to
them.
have a picture with Gordon would have been a wonderful thing. I didn't meet the man, but I heard he was one hell of a nice guy.
Yeah.
And supported many causes as well. Now, we're going to get into Leah's trivia, and who better to start it? By the way, this show is brought to you by FM108.ca, Canada's oldies station this week,
And the Canadian Diabetes.
and the Canadian Diabetes
The sours.
Association.
This is our third bag, by the way.
Well, as he knocks over a microphone.
Our third bag of
Test.
snacks.
It is, we went through 3 bags of candies, man. We're going to hit a low soon. I think Amanda's
What are you
already
talking
hit it.
about?
She's sitting there right there.
What are you talking about?
Huh? Stop
Oh,
it.
what?
We got a show to do.
Alrighty. At 1 minute 29 seconds, the Buzzcocks' 1978 single "Love You More" was the second shortest UK single ever released. Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs' 1960 hit "Stay" is the shortest US #1 hit at 1 minute 28 seconds. Can you imagine?
It's not a bathroom song on radio, I'll tell you that.
No. Some Kind of Earthquake was the song, and an instrumental single released in 1959 by Dwayne Eddy clocked in at just 1 minute and 17 seconds.
I remember Norman B. back in the old days of FM 108 did a show about the shortest songs, like the
Oh,
top,
did he?
Yeah.
the top 25
Obviously, he
shortest
didn't have
songs
to go to the
in 1
bathroom
hour.
then.
No, he wasn't allowed to go to the bathroom. He was there
Songs
queuing.
weren't long
There's
enough.
Normie queuing up the old turntable.
Must have been
God,
lots of
yeah.
Beatles tunes
God,
and everything
we used
else
to
in
do
those.
that. Remember we used to do that?
there's so many.
Oh, God, yeah.
Shameful.
Might as
And
well
then-
take the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the little one.
The women-only Lilith Fair Festival was named after Lilith from Cheers, which was later Frasier. Did you guys know that?
Yeah,
I
I
did,
did.
yes.
From
I know,
last year.
Yeah.
From last year.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, though.
No, a lot of people don't.
Yeah, or, because when I would say it to people, they go, no, it wasn't. They didn't
yes, it
believe
was.
you. But yes, it was. It's
The power that
exactly
show had when you
what
think
it was. Oh, my
about
God. Sellout
Oh,
crowds,
yeah.
crazy. Like it was-
Frasier, too. Oh
and
my
best
God.
concert to go to, you're going to see thousands of women.
it. Yeah. Awesome.
Of course, Lee was the only one there. It was all women.
I'm not
Lee,
stupid.
and maybe even Russ, the two of them,
I'm not stupid.
and their pink high heels.
And they're not all gay.
You didn't know that, did you? They both have pink high heels.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Size 13.
Size 13. Wow. You're a big fella. All
All
right.
right, 1986, Atlantic Records founder Ahmet Edgergan announces that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will be built in Cleveland, Ohio. And in 1992, Mike Love and Bruce Johnston of the Beach Boys appear on the Full House episode Captain Video, where Uncle Jesse records their song Forever, a version of the song sung by John Stamos, who plays the character and appears in the group's album Summer Paradise a few months later.
We didn't have internet then, and I can remember that all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
2009, Tina Turner, 69 at the time, closes out her 50th anniversary tour with a show in Sheffield Arena that turns out to be her last concert. I don't want people to come to a show and think that I used to be great, she says.
Very good comment.
Well, you know what? Tina's
Yeah.
a great entertainer anyway.
But you know
I'd
what?
love to see her up there again.
It's smart to me when somebody knows, you know what?
It's time.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Time.
They get to go on their own terms. They're not pushed out because of it just can't perform anymore or whatever. So
Well, that's why Aerosmith's
She's-
hanging up the music this year, right?
yeah.
Well,
They're
she's
having
what,
a-
84 now?
Yeah.
84, I think
Yeah.
she's about 84.
Is she really? God
Yep.
bless her.
She's born in 1939.
I heard she's
so-
having some health problems too. So.
At 84,
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yes. 2014,
I'm
beyond
56 and having health
well,
problems.
look
I
at
can't
me.
imagine 84.
hobbling around like an old man here.
Speak for yourselves.
2014, Beyonce's sister Solange Knowles attacks Jay-Z in an elevator that they are all riding in after attending the Met Gala at the Standard Hotel in New York. The footage, which is leaked on TMZ, shows Jay taking his whooping before a security guard restrains Solange. Beyonce later mentions the incident in her song Flawless, when she sings, "Sometimes shit go down when there's $1 billion on an elevator." 2 years before Beyonce implies her husband's infidelity in the title track of her Lemonade album, mysterious tracks appear in the foundation of hip-hop's royal family and Sister Solange swinging the hammer. Although no explanation is given to explain the physical altercation that her brother-in-law, Solange garners support from many of Beyonce's fans who assume that Jay-Z must have been up to no good to elicit such a reaction from Bey's protective little sister. What was he up to, I wonder? Let me see here. Queen Bey, the picture of her pose as Solange kicks and punches at Jay-Z, makes a vague statement through her hit Flawless, essentially explaining, as we said, shit happens. And one of those, it makes you wonder, I'd like to be a fly on the wall.
Well, there was a camera in there.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
But-
if you look online,
Yeah.
you can see that it's not easy to see, and you
Yeah.
wouldn't know who it is unless you read the caption. You can see them in the elevator, and she's going right at him against
But-
a wall.
This is the problem in society today, is that if a man had done that, he would have been in jail, he would have been charged, done jail time. And this is the problem sometimes, is that it's acceptable for some violence, but not that kind of violence. And the fact that she didn't get charged or anything like that is stupid. It's allowing the female gender to do that and abuse. Yes, there's a lot of men and men toward female abuse out there, but there is a lot of female towards men abuse out there
But
that
it
does
was
not get reported.
if you read any of the articles, it was also stated that because it was family and it was his wife's sister, there was nothing going to happen like that because of the family.
That's no excuse.
No,
It's-
but I'm
it's
saying
abuse.
that's what was going on.
Abuse is abuse. Bottom line, I don't give a fuck what anybody says, because you're talking to a guy who came out of 22 years of that.
Well, I've been there,
And
done that.
a lot of men do not come out and say anything. And the problem is the laws have also needed. You want to talk about laws being changed? That's one that needs to be changed. Abuse is abuse is abuse. It does not matter age, gender, race, religion, sexuality. It has nothing to do with that. Abuse is abuse.
Okay, can we go back
Bottom line.
into lighthearted music? You're
Yeah,
a
but
roll.
abuse is abuse. Let's talk about abuse for
Bottom line.
Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, whatever happened to him? Arsenio Hall files a $5 million defamation suit against Sinead O'Connor after the singer posts a message on Facebook suggesting he was the recently deceased Prince's drug dealer. And she later apologizes and Hall drops the suit. But you know
Even to
what?
Sinead, there's always something with her.
She's
And,
got to keep her name out there, right? So the royalties keep coming in.
Oh
so
my good lord.
A wee tidbit here. Suicide apparently ran in Kurt Cobain's family. His great uncles Burl and Kenneth and his great grandfather all killed themselves with guns.
Wow.
Wow.
That's sad, really, when you think about it.
Charlie Watts' first concert was Jerry Mulligan, Walking Shoes.
I remember.
He used to love jazz.
Yeah.
Oh
Charlie.
yes, very
Charlie
much
was a big
so.
jazz fan. And of course, being a Rolling Stones drummer didn't hurt either.
Yeah.
And I'll do one more here. A little bit of a busier day for history on May the 4th. In 1969, Al Stewart and his girlfriend Mandy attend a party at the Putney home of John Martin, which inspires the song Night of the 4th of May.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
I love that scene where they have Mike Tyson holding
May the 4th be with you.
It's put
Mikey.
with.
He's
That's
mellowed a
really
lot.
ludicrous.
Mike Tyson's
That's
mellowed a
ridiculous.
lot.
Oh God, yeah.
I see some of the
So much.
videos, and he's really mellowed.
He's laid right back, you know. It's just,
He said he didn't like the Mike Tyson that was the
Well, no,
world
'cause
champion because he was an animal and he was a machine,
yeah.
and he had to be.
Well, the people around him didn't help, I'm sure. And,
I think he'd be a pretty cool guy to party with.
Actually, I think so too, to be honest with
As
you.
long as you don't want to piss him off, though. I'll tell you that.
You don't want to take a punch, that's
No.
for sure.
No.
Like Alan did in The Hangover.
Oh yeah, or what about the guy that was bugging him on the plane, so he duffed him? Remember that?
Oh
That
my
happened a
God,
year ago.
That was
That really happened.
forgot
Mike
about
Tyson.
that, that's
Imagine
right,
Mike
yeah.
Tyson sitting in front of you on a plane, and you want to bug the guy. Like, hey, keep. Like, you don't
You
wake
deserve
the
to get a punch
sleeping
in the
well,
head.
don't do
bear.
it to anybody, but especially not
Yeah.
Tyson.
All right.
1974, the Sting soundtrack. Remember that? Oh my God, it was so big. Featuring Marvin Hamlish's adaptations of Scott Joplin's ragtime piano tunes, hits #1 in America, where it stays for 5 weeks. The film, set in 1930s Chicago, stars Paul Newman and Robert Redford as grifters who plan an elaborate con against a powerful mob boss. The plot unfolds to the jaunty piano rags of Scott Joplin, the king of ragtime, whose tunes were popular in the early 1900s, long before the story's setting. Despite the historical inaccuracy, the ebullient music is a perfect fit for Newman and Redford's mischievous scheming. As a result, the soundtrack is a #1 hit and renews interest in ragtime. Hamlish's adaptation of Joplin's The Entertainer, the movie's main theme, is also a #3 hit on the Hot 100. The soundtrack's reign comes on the heels of the Sting's triumph at the Academy Awards, where it won 7 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Original Score. Redford thinks the film's success has had a lot to do with the ragtime score, and even credits the music for his performance. The music that George Roy Hill applied to the Sting, Scott Joplin. George played that music for me before we did the film, so it went into my head. So as I was playing the character, I heard that music, which gave me a physical impulse. I believe that music is extremely important in film.
Well, and the amazing thing about that movie was The Entertainer, the main theme, went to #1 on Billboard. It was a huge
Yeah.
top 40 radio
One of the
hit.
first things I learned to play on
So
piano.
there you are
Huge.
playing Bachman Turner Overdrive and Elton John and all the hits of the day, and then you're playing The Entertainer,
Yeah.
which was quite something.
Yeah,
And not
quite
too many
different.
instrumentals kind of started dying off in the early
Yeah.
60s. They came around in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, and then they started to
Oh,
die
to
off.
mid-60s,
You get
yeah.
and then you get the odd one, like theme from 2001,
Right, yeah.
or Axel F by Harold Faltermeyer,
Yeah,
and stuff
very
like that.
rare though.
But
you know.
very rare,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Very
wonder
much
why
so.
that is in today's
Yeah.
technology. You'd think they'd really want to
Miami
start
Vice,
playing with
what's
things.
his name too?
Miami
Jan
Vice
Hammer,
theme,
right,
Jan
yeah,
Hammer.
yeah.
Yeah.
1982.
His brother was Armin, right?
Armin Hammer.
Armin Hammer, yeah.
Under the leadership of Chairman Elton John, who had invested heavily in this team, the Watford Football Club is promoted to the first division of English football with a win over Wrexham, who Ryan Reynolds just purchased.
Yeah, Wrexham, yeah.
Oh, did he?
The team was in the lowly 4th division when Elton took over as chairman back in '76. So,
Not many people know that Elton John has been to soccer, and really.
I did until I found this.
No,
that
he-
was something
yeah.
I didn't know.
Well, and Watford were in the Premier League a few years ago.
And then, like I say, Ryan Reynolds just buying Wrexham now, working his way to try and get them into the Premier League as well.
So, how come we don't hear about the Wrexham team with you?
Because I'm a Nottingham Forest fan.
Exactly.
I'm
I
more
knew that.
worried about my team right now than any other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
I got
okay,
my
what-
Maple Leafs to worry about too, man. You know
I'll
what I
tell
mean?
you one more here. A lot of people remember this, especially classic rock people. David Bowie's ex-wife Angela goes on the Joan Rivers show and says that she once walked in on Bowie and Mick Jagger naked in bed. Angela signed a gag order when she divorced Bowie that kept her from talking for 10 years and taking advantage of the opportunity. So, yeah, I
There's
do remember
pictures
that.
all over
God,
of the
yeah.
two of them, either just sitting around together in bed together, sitting together, or kind of like this, or
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
this, or yeah, it's crazy. I think it's crazy.
It's
Beautiful, I
but,
guess, but
Hey,
So
cares, eh?
you're going to leave me with a story with the funny baby name.
Yes.
Thank you very much. From 2020, Grimes, also known as Claire Elise Boucher, has a baby boy she names XAEA12. The father is entrepreneur Elon Musk. And you said that he was autistic?
Yes.
yes.
I didn't know
And
that.
very much about AI, so that would
Ah.
explain the name.
You know what? Elon does not want AI
No.
no, he doesn't.
No.
because the smart people know
Yes,
what can
exactly.
happen.
Actually,
Think
there was
about
just
it.
an article by CBC News recently. Actually, I believe it was yesterday. The fear right now, there are higher people that work with AI and are top of the AI field, and they're telling us you need to slow down.
The
Because
Swiss
it's
ra-
literally replacing people's lives, not just.
Yeah.
A Swiss radio
In other
station
ways.
just
You wanna
last
talk
week.
about identity theft. They can steal you.
Yes, they can be you. They can
they're
take
that
my
advanced
voice
now.
or Lee's voice or Leah's voice or Amanda's voice and totally clone it.
But
But the one thing that they can't do is pronunciation in certain things, like like for instance,
don't
when I
kid
worked-
yourself down the road.
St. Thomas. There's a street called Talbot, but it's Talbot.
Yeah.
You've got to have the inflections, and they haven't got to
They
that
haven't
yet.
figured that one out.
Well, give it
Because-
time.
can turn around and talk like this for a
Like
while.
they've got them that they're actually even almost feeling,
Well,
which is a really scary thing in my opinion. Sorry,
a
but-
Swiss radio station last week ran 24 hours of nothing but AI, people talking on the air. And
That's crazy.
at the end of that, people were so glad to get the real people back.
Yeah. Oh, you
Because
can-
we're not ready for that yet.
No.
But it's pretty close.
It is.
Well, I mean, you hear even on my car phone when somebody calls in, and of course it's listed with my contacts, so it'll come up when it calls, and it'll come up and say, Leah. And the way it says all the names
yeah.
are so far-fetched from what they are.
Well,
Oh,
again,
yeah.
even listening sometimes
That inflection
to
thing.
Google Maps and stuff like that, some of the pronunciations of street names is like, whoa, you're way off
Oh,
on
yeah.
that one. Like, did you forget a
boy.
couple vowels in there or something?
Where are we in the show? I forgot.
1970.
You're at 1970, you are.
Oh, it's me, is
No,
it?
you.
No, it was Grimes. Give him
Oh,
another
okay.
one.
Is
Let him
it
have
mine?
another
Oh,
one.
okay, right. You had the,
He had that little one.
1970, later memorized in the Neil Young song Ohio, the Ohio National Guard fires on protesters at Kent State University, killing 4 students, 2 of whom weren't even protesting. The shameful event in American history leads to the formation of Devo, and Mark Mothersbaugh and Jerry Casale are both on campus and horrified by the events. About 3,500 protesters gather at the university to protest the United States incursion into Cambodia as part of the Vietnam War. Unbeknownst to them, Ohio Governor Jim Rhodes has stationed a National Guard unit inside a heating plant at the school and has declared martial law, superseding First Amendment rights and making any assembly illegal. And there's a whole whack of
Oh,
story
yeah.
on that. But basically, it was
sad.
just a day to...
It was a shit show.
and it was immortalized in Ohio by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Yeah.
And if you want to go get the record, it's on YouTube.
Just listen to the lyrics, man.
Just listen to the lyrics,
You'll
man,
get
and
it.
it'll explain the whole thing. But it's not a day that Americans like to remember fondly. Of course, it was a very black day in American history.
Beautiful song, though. Even though the
Great
lyrics
song.
are not so beautiful,
Great
the
song,
song is an
yeah.
amazing, amazing
Yeah,
song.
4 dead in Ohio. Yeah.
U.S. guitarist Link Ray is credited with inventing the fuzz guitar in the 50s after punching a hole in a speaker, giving him a distorted sound.
Isn't that amazing?
1974, Keith Richards was nominated the world's most elegantly wasted human being by the New Musical Express. You go next.
Oh, yeah. 1968, the Beach Boys begin a United States tour with the
Maharishi.
Maharishi Mahesh Yogi.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, boo-boo.
Who gives a lecture as an opening act. Hey, boo-boo, where did you get that picnic basket, eh? Hey, 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 from that nice couple over there. The tour is a flop, and some of the dates are canceled as well. 1969, Canada Customs officials arrest Jimi Hendrix after finding heroin in his bag, and eventually he was acquitted in court.
1972, Scottish rock guitarist Les Harvey, at the age of 27, dies on stage during a Stone the Crows concert. He's actually electrocuted by an ungrounded microphone standing in wow.
Pool of rainwater.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you, pool of rainwater. Hey, you don't know how you're going to go, do you? You want me to do one more?
Yep.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, 1972, Scottish rock guitarist Les Harvey, I'm sorry, I'm reading the same one again. No, 2019,
gotta
Wayne
put
State
faces in between
University.
these, man.
Yes, I know. Yeah, that's the problem, I think. Wayne State University of Detroit, Michigan awarded Jack White with an honorary Doctor of Humane Letters degree for his dedication to Detroit and significant contributions to the arts as one of the most prolific and renowned artists of the past 2 decades.
Amazing musician.
Yes.
1958 was the time of a disastrous concert that takes rock out of Boston. The popular disc jockey Alan Freed hosts a rock concert at the Boston Arena, which is a hockey rink, that does not go well. The city doesn't host another rock concert until 1964. On his radio show broadcast on WINS in New York City, Freed championed rock and roll. He also popularized that phrase, playing the hits and bringing the early stars of the genre to local theaters for concerts, which he extends into a package tour. New York audiences could handle the heat generated from this white-hot sound, as well as the mix of black and white artists. But Boston was more combustible. When Freed takes his show to Boston, acts out on the bill include Chuck Berry, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Buddy Holly.
Wow.
Accounts vary, but the crowd rushes the stage at various times, and Freed keeps imploring them to sit down. Not easy to do when Lewis is playing The Great Balls of Fire. I did miss the fact that New York audiences could handle the heat generated from the White House, or did I? No, I guess I did say that. I did say it.
Okay.
Where was I? It looks like the Boston police don't want you to have a good time. Violence erupts, spurred on by gang members at the show, and spills over to the streets. Rock and roll becomes demonized in Boston, and the city does not host another rock concert until 1964, as was mentioned before, when the Beatles come through. Even in the late 60s, rock is scarce in Boston because of the onerous regulations. Aerosmith, for example, is formed in Boston but has to get their wings in New Hampshire, where there are more venues where they can actually perform.
Yeah.
Oh.
Crazy. Pearl Jam singer Eddie Vedder, who is a friend of Pete Townsend, and also wrote the foreword to his 2007 Pete Townsend biography, Who Are You? The Life of Pete Townsend. Also coming in 1969, Mick Jagger was quoted, "I don't think I shall live to a very old age anyway. I've always had that feeling. But if you can stop your body falling apart, you've won half the battle."
I think he's done well so far.
I think he's done very
Amazing.
well. Well, if you know anything, when the Stones tour, he has a tractor trailer that follows him around that has a gym in it. He goes and works out for 45 minutes just before he goes on stage.
No.
And does a 2-hour show. So for 2 hours and 45 minutes, at the age this man is, goes out and does that kind of show. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, they're still the greatest rock and roll band, I think. I'm a Beatles fan, but
one of them.
one of 10, I think. And we know who the other 9 are, I'm sure. In 1971, it's day 2 of the May Day protests as demonstrators fed up with the war in Vietnam, tried to shut down the U.S. government by blocking off streets and bridges in Washington, D.C. Thousands of arrests were made, many to bystanders who have nothing to do with the protest. At the foot of the Washington Monument, where much of the action is taking place, Jonathan Edwards performs his new song "Sunshine." As the arrest continues, he plays the song over and over because there's no better song for the soundtrack of that movie, and it's a great song. I haven't heard Jonathan Edwards' "Sunshine" in a long time.
No, neither have I.
It's a good song.
That's
I'll
kinda
do
weird.
one more. 1989, Michael Jackson, wearing a wig and fake mustache, enters
Did this
a
all the time.
Zales jewelry store in Simi Valley, California. Security finds him suspicious and calls the police, who show up to explain that you shouldn't wear a disguise to a jewelry store. Michael?
Well,
Can't
mind you-
blame him though. I mean, come on,
No.
he couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but again,
But yeah, it
you
makes
know,
sense.
You wearing it back then, it would have been like walking into a bank with a mask on.
Yeah.
Like,
Before COVID,
Well, it
can
makes
you
sense,
imagine
but
that?
yeah.
1997, the James Bond spoof Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, hits theaters. The theme is Soul Bossa Nova, a song by Quincy Jones from 1962, the same year the Bond movie appeared. Yeah, baby. In the film, Mike Myers plays Austin Powers, a spy from the 60s who comes out of a cryogenic freeze in modern times. The soundtrack uses lots of music from his era, including Incense and Peppermints and Masquinada. There are some 90s tunes included as well, notably I Touch Myself by the Divinals, which plays as Austin battles the Fembots. Burt Bacharach also makes a cameo appearance. His song The Look of Love, sung by Dusty Springfield,
Oh,
as the theme
Dusty.
to the James Bond movie Casino Royale, helped inspire the film. 2 more Austin Powers movies are released, both using soul bossa nova, just as the James Bond movie or films used the famous theme composed by John Barry. The third in the trilogy, Austin Powers is Gold member, marks the film debut of Beyonce.
Oh, who?
Yeah.
Beyonce. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know Solange Knowles. You know,
Yeah,
they're related somehow.
Yeah.
I thought he said bounce me.
2005.
Yeah, Cream reunite for their first 4 shows in London's Royal Albert Hall, the site of their farewell concert 36 years earlier. The band hasn't played together since their 1993 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. So,
Amazing.
next one, first time on MTV Unplugged features rap acts with Delul, MC Light, and A Tribe Called Quest and LL Cool J performing. LL steals the show with a shirtless rendition of Mama Said Knock You Out. The season 2 episode is branded as Yo Unplugged Rap, with the 4 acts crammed into a 30-minute time slot. Previous episodes features likes of Sting, Paul McCartney, and Elton John, not who I would put in with rap. Big names,
No.
but no strangers to an acoustic format. Unplugging rappers is more risky since they traditionally rely on computer-generated samples and beats. So, yeah.
All right. So we're done for the week, I think.
I think
About
so.
35 minutes. Did you want
I like that one.
to? Did you want to get that one in before we go? You go ahead.
In 2007,
It's your
BG,
show.
Robin Gibb was quoted, "We thought Saturday Night Fever sounded like porn music."
Tend to agree. There's some tunes in there.
Actually, you know what? That
you know,
when I hear
Ron
that,
Jeremy could have had a great time with it.
I love the Bee Gees, man. I mean,
It's
I
all
love
about the
that
rhythm.
stuff. I mean, a lot of people that were in the business with us in radio, they don't like the disco era. I liked a lot of that stuff.
I
I love
don't
The
mind it.
Hustle by Van McCoy,
I'm
Boney M,
I'm playing tons of it
Rivers
now
of
with the Legion,
Babylon, Ma Baker, all that great disco stuff. And
Daddy
it brings back
Cool.
Daddy Cool, exactly. And,
Daddy
you know, and that stuff was around in part of the 70s as much as the rock and roll
Oh,
was.
God, yeah.
You know, I mean, I
Well,
don't go
everybody
around.
did. You know what? It killed me. You heard all these guys going, "Oh, disco sucks," but then you go to their house and you be walking by their house, and that's what you hear pumping out of the
Oh,
stereo.
do your disco.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't
disco.
talk like that. No.
Oh.
I can't do it anymore.
I love that when Donald Duck does the disco
Disco
sucks.
Duck.
I love that.
Rick Dees.
Rick Dees is
I
a
love that.
genius, and he made a novelty record, and people always go, "That's," but you know what? he made a lot of money on that record, man.
Hell of a lot of money on it.
And he's also a great radio guy.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, it was a long time.
One of our brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're done for another week. We're shutting her down because everybody's got a sugar. It's like we're, you know. But have a fun weekend if you're into the coronation. I'm not into it.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Have fun. I'd rather
whatever.
spend my time watching the hockey game. Go
Yeah,
Leafs,
that's what we
go.
do.
Boys got to come back with 2 more games. So
Yeah. God bless the Queen is all I can say. I
Yeah.
remember her, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
All right. Now at least we have our chimes for this show turned the right way around, and of course we're coming to you from Canada's hometown, Halton Hills, Ontario, and this is the Top 40 Timeline video show. And there's Amanda here. We're gonna have to find Amanda a spot on this show, you know, where she can do
Somewhere.
stuff. Yeah.
that's your job to figure those things
Is it?
out.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, give me a break because I
Yeah,
usually,
yeah.
I usually do too.
Have
so.
a great week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Be safe out there. Go Leafs, go.
Go Leafs, go! And you know, if you're from Miami, then sorry,
Sucks to
you're
be
shit
you.
out of luck.
Have a great week, everybody. Bringing community together worldwide.
Sure.
I thought I said that already when I said Halton Hills. Did I get that wrong again?
Worldwide.
Mandy, help me here.
Worldwide.
Don't look at me.
Huh?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. what?
Anyways,
You say it.
I just did.
Oh, I know you did. Yeah.
Have a great week, everybody.
This is the part where we're supposed to shut up and say nothing.